And TGIF, everyone. Welcome into the First Call podcast. It's Friday. We're ready to handicap. He's Scott Shapiro. I'm Jeremy Plonk, representing First Bet and Express Bet. We're going to travel the globe this weekend looking for Kentucky Derby points, Scott. It's not your normal week. You just can't line up at the tracks you want to see each and every week on the Triple Crown Trail. This is one of those strange weeks. We've got a points prep domestically at Turfway Park in the John Battaglia. And then we've got one today on Friday, the Dubai Road to the Kentucky Derby, and on Sunday, the Hyacinth Stakes from Japan. So points are being awarded all over the globe, but it's not one of those weeks like we've seen in recent weeks.
No doubt about that. And if one of the winners comes on a Friday or Sunday race, the Derby winner, that is, I'm probably not going to have them this year. I mean, maybe I'll be wowed. Who knows? But we shall see. But as you mentioned, the lone domestic one is Saturday in the Battaglia Memorial. We've got a couple promotions focusing on that.
Yep.
Not necessarily a race that since 2021, when it became the points race that has produced a lot from its winners. But Rich Strike finished fourth in it in 2022 and broke a lot of hearts in the lane.
We've got a weekend that also includes some big carryovers to talk about, starting with Friday. Today's racing, as we drop our podcast, we're just hours away from a dual carryover. Santa Anita with a $34,000 pick six carryover. Scott's got a write up on that on the First Bet and Express Bet website in the blog section, so check those out. And a $64,000 carryover in the Sunset Pick Six. Frank Caruli's got your handicapping analysis at news.first.com and at expressbet.com in the blog sections. $64,000 in the carryover. The Sunset Pick Six is the final three races at Gulfstream, the final three races at Santa Anita. So that's going to get underway about 3:50 Eastern, race number 8 on a 10-race card at Gulfstream Park. So a lot of good handicapping to talk about. We talk about some of these Derby preps. Want to look back at a horse who ran yesterday and just give a little news. If you're looking for a horse this week, you might have already seen him. His name's Reagan's Honor. He won by 5-6 open lengths yesterday in a Fairgrounds allowance race. Mile and a 16th, missed the track record by 1/100th of a second. This is a horse with an outstanding pedigree from the same family as Giacomo Tiago. That Blue Hen mare set them freeze, his grandmother on the dam side. Cherie DeVaux's got a good-looking one, and with the passing of John Sheriff's just in the last week, to see one of those Sheriff's pedigrees get to the Derby would be kind of something special. I was really impressed yesterday by Reagan's Honor, Scott. I don't know what you thought.
I didn't take a look at the field. I just watched the race without having any concept for that, but obviously very well. It looked very good, visually, and kind of a weird path, though, the old allowance versus older horses. And then I assume they're going to bring back in the Louisiana. Well, the Louisiana Derby would probably be the sensible one for that, I think, depending on what they do with Golden Tempo. But they lost Skeet, and I don't know what their plan is with Englishman, if he's coming back or if he's not.
Yeah,
but, they got some good issues that they've never had in this barn before.
Yeah, I kind of think Golden Tempo is kind of a better fit for the Louisiana Derby if you're talking about Cherie DeVaux's horses, because he'll have the extra week of rest in between this start because he ran Risen Star Week, and so he'll have more time before the Louisiana Derby. Fair. Certainly a mile and 3/16 for the Louisiana Derby distance, the longest of the domestic preps. You got a horse who's already run a mile and an eighth in Golden Tempo. I would just stay for the Louisiana Derby with him, and I'd move this horse on the road. He's got natural speed. He went wire to wire in a Fairgrounds maiden. He went wire to wire in the allowance race. He feels like a bluegrass horse to me, and he's got a little bit more time to get there. Or Arkansas Derby might be a good fit. Of course, is Tiago, again, from the same family. Tiago, an Oaklawn handicap winner and a Santa Anita Derby winner. So I could see the horse heading to Arkansas and having some success there, or the bluegrass would be a more logical spot, maybe, the way Cherie brings her horses to Keeneland in the spring. So interesting horse, though. Reagan's Honor on a week where we didn't think we'd really see many Derby-type horses. I kind of got a little excited about what I saw yesterday. So,
I woke up to an all caps message.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Derby horse.
Yeah, Derby horse in all caps was the message I sent you there. So looking forward to seeing him down the line. All right, let's get to our handicapping here for this coming weekend. We have 8 stakes races for you, but coming up with 8 on this Saturday just mathematically didn't work out. So we extended the weekend a bit for you. We've got some Friday, Saturday, and Sunday races. For those of you watching on our video channels at X and on YouTube, be sure to like and share this out. Make comments in the comment section. Tell us who you like in some of these races. And for the benefit of those of you listening on our traditional audio podcast channels, here's the schedule. Scott and I will handicap over the next half hour or so. To Turfway, we'll go on Friday night. Night racing on Friday, the Cincinnati Trophy. We're handicapping for us getting a Friday night race on this podcast. Then we'll give you a look at 6 stakes races on Saturday, starting first at Gulfstream Park with the Gulfstream Sprint, our express bet race of the week. To Turfway, we go for the John Battaglia Memorial on Saturday night. Kentucky Derby prep points on the line in that one with a full field. To Santa Anita Turf Sprinters in the Wishing Well Stakes. To Laurel we go, where horses on the 3-year-old paths in Maryland towards the Black-Eyed Susan, the Wide Country Stakes, maybe towards the Preakness with the Miracle Wood. 3-year-olds in the spotlight Saturday at Laurel. The Arkansas Breds have the spotlight at Oaklawn this weekend. Stakes today on Friday, the Down the Dusty Road. The race we will look at on Saturday for the Arkansas Breds. A real rematch, if you will. The no double breeders, where the top 5 finishers from last year are all back in that one. We'll handicap that race for you. And then on Sunday, we'll wrap things up with 3-year-old turfers, including a couple Triple Crown nominees who are crossing over to the grass to run in the Pasadena Stakes feature race Sunday at Santa Anita. And as we talked about at the top, our promos this week, the late pick 4 hit and split at Turfway on Saturday, the big promo you want to look at, 2 million first rewards points on the line in Saturday's late pick 4. When you play Turfway's late pick 4 with First Bet and Express Bet, you'll get not only your pari-mutuel winnings, but your share of 2 million first rewards points if you can take that down. And Scott's already done the homework, right? You're set this morning with handicapping for that pick 4.
Yep. I mean, we've got you covered. It'll be we've got the Friday blog up along with Caruli. So I have you'll get both of our thoughts for the late 3 at Santa Anita, which will be in both sequences. And then Saturday, I'll have you set up now for the Turfway Park hit it and split, which also includes the money back special race, the John Battaglia Memorial, where you get up to $10 back on your win bets up for second or third. So that's the key race of the week in terms of promotions and in terms of the Derby points race. So we'll have you covered there. And of course, I'll have you on Santa Anita on the weekend.
Turfway's doing their little Oaks Derby Day, if you will, this weekend. Friday night's the 3-year-old fillies, the Battaglia for the Colts on Saturday. So let's start off Friday night. 3-year-old fillies going a 2-turn mile there at Turfway Park in the Cincinnati Trophy. I was thinking, Scott, when's the last time Cincinnati won a trophy in anything? It was the Reds in 1990. I had to look it up. It's been a while for the Cincinnati sports fans.
Poor Johnny. I mean, they were close. I mean, I should say poor me now that Joe Burrow, I've become a Burrow fan. They've broken my heart a couple of years, but yeah, that's a tough one. You hear a lot of cities complain that they're the city with the worst luck. Cincinnati, Cleveland, they're legitimate contenders.
No question. Let's talk Cincinnati Trophy and these 3-year-old fillies. Now, we've got a field of 11 in here, including an undefeated filly. She won the Go Well Stakes. She also won the Stewart Manor at Aqueduct last year, and she won at Keeneland on the turf. So 3 starts, 3 wins. Her name is Map of the Moon. She's won at Keeneland, Aqueduct, and Turfway. We'll see if she can run things out to 4 in a row. Take a look at her last time out.
Pure Eloquence begin to close in together. Sassy CW, very fast early. She's coming back to her rivals. There's Folk Song. Here's Gianna. And there's Map of the Moon to the outside. Gianna gets to the front. Map of the Moon now tries to lengthen her stride, and she's quickening in under left-handed urging. Map of the Moon trying to come and get Gianna. Gianna, there's Map of the Moon up to the front. Map of the Moon, front and center in the Go Well Stakes.
She got there sprinting. Now she's got to do it around 2 turns, Scott. And the old axiom in handicapping is closing sprinters don't always translate to routers. Can she make it 4 in a row, or are you going against her?
I'm going against her. You got the outside post to deal with as well, a rider that has not been a boarder yet. So I think there's questions here to be answered for Map of the Moon, despite the perfect resume thus far. I think there's going to be some pace in this race, and that's why I'm going to take a bit of a swing here. Excuse me, with number 2, Lovely Gray. And what stuck out to me is the way this gal finished on January 22nd off the layoff for the same barn, Kelsey Danner. And did so, proving third best that day at 15-1, just missing by less than a length in an allowance race, which also included one of the runners in here, right? Resist won the race, who's 2 for 2 also. But the 99 late pace in there and the inside draw, I think those two are going to pair well together here. So I'll go with Lovely Gray, 10-1 on the line.
You got to like the ROI at Turfway when you get that jockey trainer combo, don't you? Lovely Gray with Danner, the trainer, Joe Ramos. 10 starts at Turfway, 4 wins, $4.99 back on a $2 wager. That's not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. Joe Ramos is a younger guy. He can ride a little bit. I mean, I think he actually had a Derby mount, right? Was he aboard the Jason West for us last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's a young kid. He has fun out there. So I wish him the best, of course, on my horse.
Lovely Gray to bring home the Cincinnati Trophy for Scott and the Queen City, race number 9 on Friday night at Turfway Park. Let's change gears now to Saturday, February 21st for our handicapping. Again, the Gulfstream Park we go. Race number 10 at Gulfstream Park, the 6 furlong Gulfstream Park Sprint, $125,000. This is our Express Bet race of the week. You can get my full written analysis in the Express Bet email newsletter. Be sure to go to the websites at First Bet and Express Bet. Sign up for the weekly newsletter and get that amongst a lot of handicapping content in your email inbox and keep you up to date with the promotions each and every week with the newsletter. Damon's Mound is in this spot, Scott, and this is a horse who, when he debuted back in, 22, 23, I'm losing track of time, now he's 6. Yeah. Damon's Mound looked like he was going to be one of the ones, in terms of a really elite kind of prospect. It hasn't worked out for him. He's kind of had a start and stop career, but he seems to be in pretty good form right now, coming off back-to-back wins in the Bold Ruler and the Sunshine Sprint. Bill Mott trains. He's already won 4 stakes at the championship meet at Gulfstream Park. Damon's Mound's going to be pretty tough in here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to beat him. And I remember that day. I was there that day. I think it might have been like this closing day of the spring meet one year, because I remember that being a race where it was a big pick 6. Damon's Mound won impressively. They turned down a boatload of money. He's still had a good career. He's earned almost $1 million, but it does seem underwhelming, especially when they turn down more, I'm sure. But I'm going to try to beat him. That was a Florida-bred race last time. That was a softer group. I think Con Campagna, who is a real kind of tough horse to figure out, but only 2 works since the last race or there's been more than 2 works, but 2 works in succession in the last race. But they're bad. I mean, this horse to me is not one that can relax, even though he's cutting back. I think off a little bit of a layoff, him and Damon's Mound, maybe amongst others, wound up as well. I think there's going to be some pace. I think Rolando has the right trip in this, gets the right trip in this race under Johnny V. 3 for 6 over this course, sits just off the pace, moves from the inside. After the inside trip last time, breaking from the inside in the Pelican in Tampa, and now moves outside, second off the bench here for Fausto Gutierrez.
Being told you outside might not hurt him either, because the 7's or the 8's going to come flying out of there. Rolando's had a little bit of issue getting out of the gate in the past couple starts, being on the outside. He's not going to get in a tangle. You figure the 8's going to leave him. The 8's going to break past him, and if he breaks out a little bit there, it'll kind of be in some open space. Won't be so bad for him. Rolando, top choice in here for Scott. We know he can win over the track and the distance. He won the Hutchison Stakes here back during his 3-year-old season.
Next as they straighten for the drive, 45 seconds for a half-mile speed. Rolando, he has it by a length and a half. Multiverse, the only one in range to go get him with 1/8 of a mile to go. Rolando by a length. Multiverse tries to get by. Rolando drifts. Multiverse on the outside. It's Rolando still there. Multiverse one more time. Rolando and Multiverse. Multiverse and Rolando. Rolando wins the Hutchison over Multiverse second, 4 ahead of Joey Muscles third in 1:10-2.
That still hurts me, JP.
You needed the other one?
I needed Multiverse that day kind of bad, I remember. I can't believe you had to pull that back out.
Well, that's a long distance stab in the back then. I didn't mean to go back a whole year and bring up bad memories for you, but this is the way we live as horse players, right? I mean, there will be grudges and bad beats that you're just not going to forget no matter how long.
Absolutely, but maybe he can redeem himself a little bit today. Well, yeah, I mean, winning again, but this time for the good guys.
You'll be on the right side of it this time. I feel good. Rolando, top pick for Scott in the Gulfstream Park Sprint. I'm chalking out here with the mod. I've got the favorite in the here, Damon's Mound. Let's go now to our next destination from Gulfstream Park on Saturday to Under the Lights Saturday night at Turfway Park, the John Battaglia Memorial Stakes, 1 mile and a 16th. This is the local prep towards the Jeff Ruby. The Jeff Ruby will be at 1 mile and an 1/8. a dozen runners. Some tracks are fighting for field size around the country. If you watch some Friday entries in the box today, a lot of short fields around the country. Not the case at Turfway Park, obviously, and in this stakes race, 12 have entered, a 13th in this spot. Of course, the John Battaglia Memorial, named for one of the original general managers of Latonia Racetrack, and the conversion from Latonia to Turfway Park under the leadership of John Battaglia. Of course, his son, famously Mike Battaglia, became the announcer there at the track, and a lot of folks know Mike through his work with NBC Sports. The Battaglia is the first family of Turfway Park, and the family will present the trophy in the winner's circle. This is a competitive group, Scott, but we've seen this group before. It was the Leonatus Stakes. This is a big rematch. This is like we talked about the stakes race previously, where we were talking about, 5 finishers in the same race and Arkansas going against each other. Kind of a similar tale. This is the Leonatus Part 2.
Sure is. And that race was won by Street Beast, first start of his 3-year-old campaign, and he did so in front-running fashion. You look at the race, and a couple of horses picked up pieces, including Full Effort, who I think will take some money in here. Mm-hmm. I think that the race is going to play out differently. You got a bigger field, a bigger race. I don't think they're going to let Street Beast have it to himself on the front end again. And I think that will benefit horses from off the pace. I think the logical move would be to go to Full Effort, but I'm going to take swings in this race. I think it's pretty wide open. And my biggest swing is on top with the 8 Great White. And his last race was the Leonidas, where he finished 5th. But he got off to a slow start that day from the inside, and he galloped out strong. Now, the slow start is an issue, but the thing I love is John Ennis, very low percentage first out with horses. I mean, very, very low. And this horse, I had it at 4% at Turfway, but it doesn't speak to the whole situation. But the debut effort was good. I mean, this horse won on debut again with a poor start, but it came with a ton of a run. And I just think this horse has a lot of talent. I don't know if this is exactly going to be his day, but I'm going to get rewarded well enough here to make Great White my key horse. I think he's 15-1 on the line, and be surprised if he gets bet down significantly.
Ennis was able to make it through the spring a couple years ago with Epic Ride. Ended up coming out of the Turfway Series, hitting the board in the Bluegrass Stakes and getting his way to the Kentucky Derby. He's been down this path before. And again, they come out of that common race where the pace wasn't fast. If it's a faster pace than the Leonatus, then your horse Great White comes into play. Let's let the fans go back and take a look at that race. It was at a mile back on January 17th. We'll go 1 mile and a 16th on Saturday night.
Street Beast near the quarter pole. Valiant gets closer. Jutland is all in. Reb 5 needs to maintain that momentum. Full Effort could be a player. He's trying to swing into the scene, tipping one from the outside. They all got to come and get Street Beast. Street Beast goes into beast mode for the final furlong. Full Effort makes a move for second. Jutland and Valiant. It's Street Beast. Full Effort is closing. Street Beast and Full Effort. Street Beast wins the Leonidas Stakes wire to wire.
He'll go for a 3rd stakes win. Won the Kentucky Downs Juvenile Mile as a 2-year-old. The Leonidas there, a Street Beast trying to become a 3-time stakes winner. As for some horses from out of town in this Battaglia, you've got Atfield coming in from New York for trainer Tom Morley, coming off a turf sprint win or a turf route win on the stretch out last time out in the Central Park Stakes. This is a grass horse who tries the synthetic for the first time. Viva Coma, he's not necessarily meant to be a grass horse out of a Street Boss mare, so we'll see. Atfield might be pretty pace versatile, already a stakes winner around 2 turns, which says something. Stop the Car is an interesting horse in terms of getting a little bit of regional feel, perhaps. 7th in the Lecomte Stakes. He tries turf or synthetic for the first time for trainer Brendan Walsh. I would suspect that he'll get bet a little bit. The Lecomte alumni, I wouldn't say completely disappointing in the Risen Star, but certainly you had to bounce back from the 4th place finisher in that race to run second. But the winner there, Golden Tempo, took a little bit of a step back with a 3rd place finish from the Lecomte to the Risen Star. That race, to me, didn't come back super strong in the Risen Star, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm kind of fading that whole I guess not circuit. What's the word I'm looking for? The Louisiana route to the Derby thus far.
The region, yeah.
I've spoken highly on it often in past years, talking about it, but I think this year is a little weaker. I didn't like either of the races, particularly the Lecomte, and Stop the Car was not a factor there. I think Brandon Walsh, I just read a quote. He was disappointed. He's just trying something new here. That's not necessarily what I want. Unless the horse is a big price, hearing that. You want to hear, this was the goal all along.
Right.
So I think there's horses where this has been the goal all along, and I'll look to those more than Stop the Car. I did put him down as the one that I thought he had the most to prove in this race in my weekly prep school article.
Great White, your horse in here, like you said, the horse who's kind of like aimed at this, right? 6 furlong debut in December. January stretches out to the mile stakes race, now to the mile on the 16th for a barn that's there all meet long. And John Ennis makes a lot of sense. He's based over at the Thoroughbred Center in Lexington and then up to Turfway with his horses, but supporting that Turfway meet all season, John Ennis. This is a race where Great White, this is kind of like one of his big destinations for the spring, and this could be a spot for him for 175 grand. 2 Out Hero on the outside. Be remiss if I didn't at least mention him. Kevin Attard trains this horse, coming off a 3rd place finish in the Grade 1 Summer Stakes at Woodbine. Of course, Attard, top trainer in Woodbine. Rafael Hernandez, his regular rider from Canada, will be riding this one. First starts in September off the layoff here. Tough post on the outside. Now, they did run a 2-turn mile in the Summer Stakes in that race at Woodbine. Not all 1-turn miles because they got the 2 different courses up there now. So 2 Out Hero has been around 2 turns, but didn't finish the deal that day around 2 turns in the summer. Long layoff, tough post. I'm going to make him beat me first time on the synthetic, but I think he's going to get backed.
I'm with you. I think the post is too much off the, you've got the question about the surface. Don't assume just because he won over the Woodbine all-weather that he'll take to this one. But to me, this maybe I'm wrong, but this might be a horse that they're pointing to the Ruby, and this is a starting point,
Yeah, exactly.
And this might go very well for them and for bettors. I mean, if this horse gets caught wide and runs a good race and you see him back, maybe things will be able to go better for him because obviously he has some talent.
Ace's Honor could be a horse that goes towards the pace. He led all the way last time in the Texas Turf Mile. If he goes and makes it tougher on Street Beast, we might get a different outcome than the Leonidas. If nobody goes for Street Beast from the inside under local leading rider Luan Machado, he just might double up and win his 2nd stakes at the meet. That's a look at the Battaglia Memorial, race number 9 at Turfway on Saturday. To Santa Anita, we'll go next for race number 7 on the card Saturday. It's the Wishing Well Stakes. $100,000 Calbred Turf Sprint. Scott, I'm going to give you your first trivia question of the day. Who was Wishing Well the dam of?
Who was Wishing Well the dam of? I mean, it's obviously someone that I should be able to guess off the top of my head. It's a big one. Yeah. The dam of... We're talking a female?
Oh, no, it's a male. Derby winner, Preakness winner.
Secretariat?
You got the right first letter.
Sunday Silence?
There you go. The dam of Sunday Silence, Wishing Well. She was a pretty good racehorse in her own right. She won the 1980 Gamely Stakes. She was an ex-claimer who kind of got good later in her career. And she also won the Las Ciénegas, which was a turf sprint. That's why she's named here in the Wishing Well Stakes. But yes, most famously, the dam of the great Sunday Silence, 1989, Santa Anita Derby winner, Kentucky Derby winner, Preakness winner, and nearly Belmont winner. Well, not nearly Belmont winner. Easy Goer kind of had his way that day, but nearly a Triple Crown winner in that he won 2/3 of it. But Easy Goer certainly had the last laugh in the '89 Belmont. All right, let's talk about the Wishing Well Stakes. 6 furlongs on the turf. This is turf course proper at Santa Anita. 6.5 is the downhill races. This is kind of a straight deal with the long run into the one and only turn. 6 furlongs on the turf here, Scott. Who'd you like in the Wishing Well in a field of 9?
If we get 2-1 on Gratefully, you might not see me in a car if she loses, but I don't think we're going to get that. I think this horse, I tried to beat her last time because she had to prove herself shipping out west, moving up a little bit in class. It wasn't the way, how she won. It was the way she won. I know she's not, didn't beat that much, but yeah, I don't really see this as a big step up in class, and she's got the tactical speed. I think Florent Giroux takes over for Umberto Rispoli. Kudos to Matt Nakatani, his agent, who was really just handed a lot of the Rispoli mounts over to Florent. It's worked out well, and he's taking advantage of it so far. So I'm not necessarily always the highest on Florent's riding, but I'm happy to see Flo, who I got to know a little bit in Kentucky, succeeding out there. And he's going to have his hands full with this monster, I think. I think she's a serious filly, especially when you take on kind of this lower tier of stakes competition.
Yeah, I misspoke and said this is state breds because the restricted part in the logo of the race title, but it's restricted because it's for horses who have not won a stakes race. So it's for horses, they may have won a state bred stakes, but nobody in this race has won an open stakes to be eligible since August the 1st. So this is a really good condition fit because you got a filly who's 4 for 4 lifetime. She's taking on other fillies and mares in here who haven't been successful at the stakes rank. So if you're going to get a step up in class to be successful, this is the kind of race to do it in. Here's Faithfully winning last time out to go 4 for 4 gracefully, actually, because when you put this horse down as your pick, I've been singing Faithfully in my head the whole time with Gratefully. So let's stop singing and go to the replay.
It's been a perfect trip for Gratefully, who cruises up 3 wide third. Young Love getting into the race in a big way. She's the gray on the far outside. Hoshiana trying to mount a bid from behind. They're in the final furlong. And Gratefully takes off and opens up 3 just like that. Young Love in second. Tahini, Hoshiana late. But it is all Gratefully. Gratefully outclassing the competition. Wins it by 4 under a perfect trip.
Gratefully is a kickoff leg of the Old Turf Pick 3 on Saturday at Santa Anita. That'll be the Old Turf Pick 3 races 7, 9, and 10. Scott, I know you love that bet.
Yes, in fact, I looked at that quite a bit. It's a single in there. I think I've got a 6-1 I like as a very high A with maybe a B, and then I think the maiden special to close it. So it's a very favorable sequence for me. Definitely will be kicking it off with this chalk.
I hope she's forever yours, Gratefully. Top pick for Scott in the Wishing Well Stakes. All right, let's go to Laurel Park for a pair of 3-year-old stakes races on Saturday's program. As we mentioned off the top, the fillies up first in the Wide Country. The colts will be up in the Miracle Wood. Wide Country was a nice filly for Bobby K-Mac. She won the Black Eyed Susan back in 1991, kind of in my heyday of following Maryland racing in my late teens. And the 91 Black Eyed Susan was her 8th straight victory. She was a local who took on the outsiders and romped them. She was a good one. The Wide Country Stakes prepping here towards that Black Eyed Susan. 7 furlongs, just to field the 5 entered in here. And Brittany Russell's got one looking for a streak of her own. We talked about Wide Country winning 8 in a row. Peach Pie's looking for 4, Scott.
Yeah, not the favorite, though, in here, at least on the morning line. That is Law School, the even money choice, 8-5 on Peach Tie. But I think Peach Tie is going to get the setup in here. And I think that because you've got Law School, who's done her best running on the lead, although she stalked just off last time. But Striker Rose coming in with the far outside, coming out of a sprint with my man, Raylu Gutierrez. And my man Raylu likes to send. And I don't think him and Jeremiah Engelhardt are coming in from New York, although Raylu bounces around a lot. I don't think they came in to not go to the lead or give themselves the best chance. So I'd be surprised if this Law School doesn't have things a little tougher. And I think Peach Tie just gets the right trip there under Brittany's husband, Sheldon, 2 for 2 over the track. I don't know if she's going to go off favorite or not, but one of the two are likely to win.
She's coming off a win in the Gin Talking Stakes. Listen to Dave Rodman call her home in a widening 8-length romp.
And just filtered on the inside. Peach Tie's been there from the start. Just filtered on the inside, trying to come back for more. Just filtered on the inside, still has a little something, an angle to the outside of Peach Tie. Peach Tie, 1 furlong left to go, a 3-length lead. Just filtered, now being left behind by Peach Tie. Superstitious on the outside, trying to pick up second. It is Peach Tie and Sheldon Russell in the Gin Talking Stakes. Peach Tie by 5 from Just Filtered, and then Superstitious.
We'll see if Peach Tie can make it 4 in a row. Top choice for Scott in the Wide Country. That's race number 7. Short field there, so if you're looking to try to build out a little value, maybe you look at the multi-race wagers. Back-to-back races are stakes on the card Saturday at Laurel, races 7 and 8. Unfortunately, no relief in sight in race number 8 in terms of field size. We've got a scratch in the Miracle Wood Stakes of Balboa. The other half of the uncoupled Brittany Russell entry, Taj Mahal, will be in this particular spot. And, Scott, we've got a field of what looks to be 6 right now before scratches in the Miracle Wood Stakes. This one named for a horse who ran in the Preakness back in 1986 under local rider Clarence Jojo Ladner. The locals were rooting for him that day. He went on to make, Scott, 117 career starts.
Wow.
In the 80s. Not in the 1930s or the 40s, but in the 1980s into about 1990, 117 starts for Miracle Wood. So he earned this stakes name.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I know that has 117 starts these days is pitchers, starting pitchers.
in their career.
Yeah, exactly. So, uh, yeah, I don't know if we're going to get a world beater in here with the scratch of the likely heavy favorite in Balboa, but I took it as a positive for the stablemate Taj Mahal, who's entered in here
Yeah.
for the same connections in Brittany Russell. I assume it'll be Shelton back aboard. They had no rider listed early on when they had both listed, but this horse, didn't break that great on debut. That's the one concern I have, and if he gets bet down quite a bit, that would be a turnoff for me, but he was impressive other than that. Now he stretches out the 2 turns, bred to go 2 turns. I don't think he's going to have an issue showing the ability to get that, but it is a big step up, taking on winners for the first time. So again,
Right.
hard to know what the price will be with Balboa coming out. I will definitely be price sensitive though in this spot.
Several in this race have maiden claiming races on their resume, so they weren't necessarily well-meant types. You do have the runner-up Close the Gate, who runner-up in the Spectacular Bid Stakes, but that was after running a couple maiden 50s at Laurel Park. John Salzman trains there, Close the Gate, coming off a second-place finish last out. He is Triple Crown nominated, the only Triple Crown nominee still in the field here. Close the Gate, Taj Mahal could be supplemented. He's a $525,000 Nyquist. If he runs well enough, he would get a look towards the Preakness Stakes if he can make his way that far. Taj Mahal's debut victory was a fairly easy win. Let's go back and take a look at that at Laurel with Dave Rodman.
Taj Mahal getting underway, also wide on the track as they move midpoint on the turn. Paul Nevena between horses, only 3 from the leaders, and Faye's Heart ridden along in the back of the pack. They turn for home, and it's Belina Clash. Belina Clash, the leader from Sir George, and Taj Mahal sweeping up on the outside. Taj Mahal now is Sir George to skirmish. Belina Clash backs off in third, and Paul Nevena down to the inside fourth. It's Taj Mahal and Sheldon Russell. They're storming home now. Taj Mahal broke last, but first, the 16th pole by 4, almost 5. Taj Mahal finishing with a flourish to win.
His stablemate for trainer Brittany Russell, we talked about scratching Balboa. The reason for the scratch, reportedly, he'll head to the Gotham Stakes in New York coming up in a week's time. So maybe see that one on the Triple Crown Trail. Of course, Balboa ran in the Jerome, has already been to Aqueduct. So he leaves the local race, the Miracle Wood, for his stablemate Taj Mahal. Maybe they can pick up wins in back-to-back weeks at different venues. Let's change venues now to Oaklawn Park and head there for Saturday. A couple Arkansas-bred stakes races this weekend. They've got one today on Friday for the Phillies. The Colts are in action on Saturday in the No Double Breeders. Now, Scott, I'm going to ask you a little bit of trivia here, too.
Oh, no shot. Go ahead.
No Double. Arkansas bred. 1970. What big race did he win in 1970?
The Met Mile.
Nice. Good job.
Really?
You got it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw a sprint, so I started to cut back a lot.
There you go. That was a good ticket. He was third in the Preakness as a 3-year-old. Santa Anita Derby winner. Again, an Arkansas bred, won the Big Cap in 1969. And you hit the trivia question. Arkansas bred. That was not staged.
I would have bet against me big time in that one. Pre-question.
I'm giving you credit. You didn't know Sunday Silence as Dan was wishing well, but you got No Double winning the 1970 Met Mile. Nice call there. I'm impressed.
I was thinking
you
the
hit
wrong
the much
way.
harder of the two.
Well, I was screwed up on Sunday Silence. I answered the question wrong. I was thinking, that was just a poor answer. I asked you if it was I redeemed myself, right?
You absolutely did. All right, the No Double. Let's talk about a handicap in this thing. If you'd be as lucky picking the winner as you were the trivia,
we'll more for my question.
In business, right? Look, when you get these state-bred sprinters and the veterans, they kind of stick around a long time. You'll see that on state-bred championship days, whether it's Cal Cup or Maryland Million or whatever. We've got 5 Arkansas breds who all ran against each other in this No Double last year. And you think, well, they're running back against each other. How predictable will this be? It was 12-1 and 17-1, I think, running 1-2 last year amongst those 5. So shake them up and throw them out and see what we might get on a repeat. I'm going to let you go back and take a look at that No Double Stakes from last year. Last March at Oaklawn Park, it was Julian Leperoux on the 12-1 upsetter, Navy SEAL. He sounds like he's done on the turn, and he just comes right back and gets the victory. Matt Ditterman with the call.
The first quarter mile hits the far turn, a length in front of Midnight Taxes in chase mode second. King Peanut sent along third on the rail, now losing that spot to Willow Creek Road. Navy Seal Lockmore next. Lockmore passing Navy Seal, who retreats to sixth. And 110 Stadium's the trailer as they round the far turn and approach the top of the lane. Bohemian Bow off the turn, appears to be doing it well on the front end. Midnight Taxes under pressure, dropping back. Willow Creek Road running a big one here at a price. He's 15-1 up to challenge Bohemian Bows, now asks for his best and kicks on a length and a half ahead. On the outside, here comes Navy Seal making up good ground down the center, and Navy Seal and Juliet Leperoux to the lead, and they'll be in the winner's circle for the No Double Breeders Stakes.
12-1 over 15-1. It was like an 86-1 exacta return in that race last year. Scott, do you have confidence in this quintet in the return, or are you going to try to find something else?
I'm going to try to find something else. I think I'm going to go with the fresh face, if you will, a lightly raced 5-year-old for Tom Van Berg, who does a good job with the stock that he gets for the son of Jack Van Berg, of course. And this is a horse that knows this racetrack well. And I like the outside stalking trip that he should get here. I don't think there's a ton of speed. He got caught 4 wide last time. I don't think that's going to happen in here. I think you're going to see Bohemian Bow, the 8-5 favorite, on the lead. And I think I should be able to get over with this B Jersey horse, still a horse at age 5, is Touchdown Arkansas. So second off the bench, I like Touchdown Arkansas as a second choice.
Yeah, and that form cycle was good to him the last time he tried it, right? He won his comeback race, but then he improved 15 points on the Beyer scale and winning back-to-back in allowance race. So if you get another big move forward, second off the layoff, he's right in with them. And you get some of these older horses have been banging heads with each other, and they're kind of long in the tooth. He's 5 years old, but he's only run 5 times. So, again, there's some ceiling there. And second off the layoff, good form cycle play there. Touchdown Arkansas, top pick for Scott. I think Willow Creek Road, who ran second in this race last year, is the one that interests me the most in the comeback. He was stuck wide in the 9 hole and never got in last time out in a local allowance race where a lot of these same horses came out of. I think he's drawn a little bit better in the 5 hole. I think there's enough speed to the inside that'll clear out a little bit. I don't think he's going to be hung wide like he was last time. So I'm going to give Willow Creek Road a shot in here in the no double. Scott's got Touchdown Arkansas. The Hogs fan, they'll be calling the Hogs if you're right.
I didn't really think about the name when I actually picked the horse. Glad Brett Bielema is not there to root for. I wouldn't be able to root for this horse if he was still there.
They got a new coach too. I'm trying to even think who it was. Who did Arkansas end up hiring then? Everybody got a new coach this past.
I know. I would say Houston Nutt, but I know that's wrong. So
no. All right, let's go to Santa Anita on Saturday. We'll wrap up our handicapping, or on Sunday, I should say. We'll switch dates and show you here on the page Sunday the 22nd. Our 8th and final race to handicap this week will be the stakes race called the Pasadena Stakes, named for the neighboring city to Arcadia, where Santa Anita is located. A mile on the turf for the Pasadena. There are 4 Triple Crown nominees in this race. It's not a race that usually throws somebody back on the trail, back towards the Santa Anita Derby, but it is a 2-turn opportunity. We've seen Bob Baffert move Plutarch around from turf, trying to get route races and such. With a couple Triple Crown, a quartet of them nominees in this race. Baffert has Greenwich Village, a horse who broke his maiden at Low Sal on the dirt, who last time out ran in the Baffle Stakes and won that sprinting. He's going to get a 2-turn test with that one. Greenwich Village for Baffert, one of the Triple Crown nominees, as well as Smoothin' Saturday in here for trainer Michael McCarthy. He's going to try the turf for the first time. I thought last time out in the Cal Cup Derby, he was going to announce that he was kind of an open company contender for the Santa Anita Derby, and it did not go that way. He went the other direction to the point where it looks like McCarthy's kind of, throwing the flag up and yelling uncle here and trying turf and see if he can't get this horse to fit in the right particular spot. So what do you make of the Pasadena Stakes in here? Kind of a mixed bag group.
Yeah, I'm going to try to, in these kinds of races, I like to stick with the turf horses, not the ones that are taking chances. I think Greenwich Village might be a turf horse, but I'm going to try to beat that one as well. Coming from off the pace as a Baffert in the 6.5 fur, it just doesn't feel like this horse is panned out the way they had hoped, even though he has earned 2 wins in 3 starts. But I'm going to go with Irashock, who I think is the best finisher in the field if trip is equal. You get Antonio Fresu. Unrivaled time is certainly can make an argument for that, but I just trust Fresu a little more than Diago Herrera on turf course in a race like this.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be an honest pace, so I do want to go with the best closer. So hopefully Fresu can navigate a trip from the outside draw, not the far outside, but an outside.
I think you're going to know your chances in the first 100 yards here because last time Irasuch was really extremely ranked. In fact, he got a couple calls from Frank Miramotti before they hit the clubhouse turn about the way he was acting up. So he's got to settle in here. You get Freysu aboard for the first, or back aboard. Last time out, it was Rispoli, and the rider change may do him some well here. 2 starts back, though, this horse in the Cecil B. DeMille showed that he has the kind of ability to win a race like this. That was a grade 3 where he was matched up with Unrivaled Time, and those 2 at Del Mar, 2 starts back, put on a pretty good stretch show.
Now, here comes Proton. And Proton, who lost the lead, is back on top. In the meanwhile, Flavian Pratt and Hey Nene are getting a wide run, and they're picking off horses on the far outside. Unrivaled Time is there, too. Irashak is let loose on the far outside. They're into the stretch. Proton, Hey Nene to the outside. Unrivaled Time between those 2. Irashak on the far outside. It is Proton. On the outside, Hey Nene. Splitting horses, Unrivaled Time, and then comes Irashak, Unrivaled Time. And Diego Herrera have won from Irashak, and then now here comes Proton.
We'll see the rematch of those 2 horses from Del Mar transferred to Santa Anita this time, and see who takes their form to the course there in Arcadia. Irashak, the top pick in here for Scott in the Pasadena Stakes. That's race number 7 on Sunday at Santa Anita. So keep in mind, Sunday race there at Santa Anita. And of course, the Coast to Coast pick 5 each and every day with Santa Anita and Gulfstream when they run together. We'll have that this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that Sunset pick 6, final 3 on the card each and every racing day at Gulfstream, and the final 3 on the card at Santa Anita. And that wager will be offered, of course, on Sunday here, the Pasadena part of that, the Sunset 6. But not before the big carryover in the Sunset 6 coming up later today. I think, post time for the start of that at Gulfstream around 3:50 Eastern. They'll probably drag it to around 4 o'clock or so. So right around the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to get going with a $64,000 carryover today in the Sunset Pick 6. Be sure to check that out. Last 3 races in the card from Gulfstream and Santa Anita. Low takeout at 15%, $1 minimum, retail only, no call wagering in that Sunset Pick 6. Good day of carryovers, almost 100,000 between Santa Anita's Pick 6 and the Sunset 6 between those 2 tracks. And again, on Saturday, the late Pick 4 hit and split. We want to remind you of that. 2 million points for first rewards on the line this Saturday at Turfway Park in the late Pick 4, which includes the John Battaglia Memorial Stakes. So definitely want to check that out. And around the world, we've got all the racing for you here at First Bet and Express Bet. Watch and wager on the races today from Dubai. It's the Road to the Kentucky Derby Dubai Stakes today. Post time for that just after noon Eastern. So coming up very shortly as we drop this podcast. So be sure to check out that race where Shalom will go the favorite there. And the Hyacinth Stakes on Sunday from Japan, where horse I've got my eye on named Arcadia Cafe. Could be the one from Japan coming over this year. So keep an eye on that race Sunday, the Hyacinth Stakes from Japan. Scott, that's going to wrap up the weekend. We got to wrap this up. We got racing in Dubai coming up.
Luxor Cafe last year. We get trying a different cafe this year. Huh?
That's right. It's Luxor Cafe's brother. So it's same menu, just a different vintage.
Well, good stuff. So I'm looking forward to the wagering this week. I know some of the stakes action might have been a little bit underwhelming compared to most weeks, but there's some good betting races, especially at Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park. Full fields, but Santa Anita's got a very big fields on Saturday. I'm definitely looking forward to that card.
On behalf of everybody with First Bet and Express Bet, my partner Scott, I'm Jeremy. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you next Friday.